Okay, the finish line for Euro 2020 is in sight, and we have a matchup of epic proportions going down on Sunday between England and Italy. Here to discuss the game and some of the important betting angles is our guy, Gareth Wheeler. So, Gareth, let's get right into this. You take a look at the line for this game, and England, just a slight little tiny favorite. So what do you make of the odds coming into the matchup?
It's a little bit of a coin toss, isn't it? Whether football's coming home or if it's coming back to Rome. That's what it's about right here. And you're right, with England favored just by a little bit, I almost want to take that out of the equation and go straight to who's going to qualify. Because whether it's a draw, whether it's a win for either side, this game very well could go to extra time. And what we've seen in the past tournament finals at Euros since the tournament expanded in 1996 is 3 of those 6 games have gone into extra time. So I'm going to take that out of the equation. And I like the lines when you're looking at who's to qualify. And if you can get at England at 110 or Italy at even odds, there might be some safer value there with the draw coming into play, obviously, over the course of 90 minutes. But these are the two best teams in the tournament. I don't think there's any coincidence here. England's played every game but one at home, which has been a massive advantage. Italy have gone on and played some of the best football at this tournament, yet some injuries have crept into the team. They lost their left back, Leonardo Spinazzola. So we can look at form, which is one thing, but matchups are going to be critical in this game. And I think that's going to kind of lead to where you, the sports bettor, kind of leans to in this matchup, which matchups on the field you prefer and which ones you want to stay away from.
Okay, so let's take a look at the total here set at 2 goals. And expected goals has been a great analytic for soccer bettors. And of course, this matchup, we have the two teams with the lowest expected goals against. So do you think this results in a low scoring game here on Sunday?
It has to. This is the only way. And you're right with the expected goals against. Italy over the course of this tournament, only 5.92 expected goals against. England, a remarkable 3.62, and they've only conceded once. And it's not just about this tournament, Joe. The track record shows it. Roberto Mancini has presided, has been manager of Italy for well over 36 games now, and he's only conceded 3 goals once. They've never conceded twice in a game with Roberto Mancini as manager, so it's always a clean sheet or 1 goal conceded. For England, 10 of their last 12 games have been a clean sheet in England's favor. So these are two defensive teams. The statistics don't lie, and I'm expecting a defensive matchup. That's why the under, I know it's just at 2, but at -110, I don't know how you don't look at that as the play. And let's put it this way, in those last 6 Euro finals, 5 of the 6, there's been 2 goals or less in those finals in 90 minutes. No goals, 1 goal, 1 goal, 2 goals, 2 goals, and 4 goals. And the 4 goal came in a Spain demolition job against Italy a few years back. So everything is trending to show that the under is the absolute play here. I think that based upon the way that these two teams play, it's certainly my play, my biggest play ahead of this final.
Okay, so each of the teams has a pretty significant advantage coming into the game. Of course, for Italy, an extra day of rest. Of course, for England, they got the home crowd behind them. So which advantage do you think is more significant?
Both have been a massive factor. Heading out of the group stage into the round of 16, 5 out of the 8 teams who played first went on to win their next knockout round game. So the extra rest will be advantageous for Italy, especially with aging defenders. They have a 36-year-old center back in Giorgio Chiellini, 34-year-old center back in Bonucci. They need all the rest they can get ahead of this matchup, but I think it's going to be the home field advantage. And that's the thing about England at Wembley, whether the crowd was going to be against their manager, Gareth Southgate, and what the team is doing on the field, or whether they'll be right behind them. And what we've seen is a festival-like atmosphere, over 60,000 people in the crowd that seems to lift up that England side, and they're reveling in it. Giorgio Chiellini of Italy did say there's no surprise that England's in this final because they played virtually all of their games at home. So I do think that this is a significant advantage for England ahead of this one, especially with both teams coming off performances where they went into extra time. Italy went into a penalty shootout as well. So I think this bodes well for England, and the rest isn't as significant with the games being played for England, that is, on Wednesday and Sunday. It's much more difficult if it's a Wednesday-Saturday scenario. So I think England will be okay with that kind of turnaround.
Taking a look at prop markets, is there anything here that stands out to you, or is there anything else that bettors should be aware of coming into the game?
I always look at who the referee is going to be because they can have such a big impact on the match. Bjorn Kuipers, he's a very good official, but he loves to give out cautions. He loves to give out yellow cards. He's officiated 8 European Championship games. He's given out 30 yellow cards in the process. And then I kind of look to who are the most likely candidates to go on and potentially pick up a yellow. And that's based on positioning or way that they play, whether they're aggressive, whether it's they're highly involved in tackles and interceptions in those active parts of the game. So I like Jorginho of Italy to pick up a card. That's at plus 400. He plays right in front of the back too. And how England plays is they drop Harry Kane, their main man up front, very deep into those pockets of space. And I know there's been lots of conversation about diving and the English and the Italian team at this tournament, but Harry Kane goes down soft. He's a wonderful player, but he absolutely goes down soft. And him picking up those pockets of space could cause problems. Di Lorenzo's a backup right back for Italy. He's already picked up a caution. He looks a step slow going up against Raheem Sterling, another player that goes down soft at plus 300. If he starts over Florenzi, I like that play as well. And for England, Calvin Phillips, Luke Shaw, they're a little bit sloppy in their challenges. And Italy, if as expected, play on the counterattack, both those players could pick up a caution as well. As for goal scorers, I really think that there could only be a couple in this game. Harry Kane for England, if he does pick up a goal, he draws level with Cristiano Ronaldo and Patrick Schick atop the goal scoring table at this tournament, gets himself right in the mix for the Golden Boot. He would be your goal scorer for England. There isn't much value there. Plus 175, but maybe you find some more value in the first goal for England at plus 220. That might be your way about it. Same thing for Italy. Federico Chiesa has been a revelation. I was looking at some of the shot props, Joe, and there's just no value there in terms of volume because I think it's going to be a game that's played more in the middle of the park rather than forward. So if you like Chiesa and Italy to go and score a goal, plus 425 for an anytime goal for Chiesa is great value. First Italy goal at plus 600. And if you're kind of thinking that there's going to be just one goal scored in this game, and that's kind of the angle that I'm taking, then maybe you find better value rather than betting a team. Instead, bet the correct score. At 1-0, if you bet the correct score for either team, at plus 250, you might be getting more value. That takes away extra time, of course, but I think that this is a game where one goal can settle it, and betting on the correct score rather than the specific team might be the smart play ahead of this one.
Okay, Gareth, we will leave it at that. For all your soccer betting needs, make sure you check out the soccer section over at oddshark.com. Gareth, enjoy the final. We'll catch you next time.